Hey everyone, and welcome to another Explainer. Today, we're taking something that usually feels like a giant bureaucratic puzzle, the Deschutes County, Oregon court record system, and breaking it right down into clear, actionable steps. If you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by legal jargon or, those notoriously clunky government websites, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to walk through this step by step so you can navigate this public system like an absolute pro, completely for free.
So, have you ever found yourself needing to dig through some legal red tape just for everyday stuff? Maybe a new neighbor moves in, or you're looking to hire someone for a major home renovation, and you just want a little peace of mind? Public transparency and a statutory right to inspect government records are foundational to the Oregon legal system for sure. But actually finding those records, well, that can feel a bit like a maze.
Okay, let's dive right into this, because understanding this public system directly benefits your daily life and your decision-making. People access these records every single day for incredibly practical reasons. You might be researching your personal genealogy, looking into civil disputes regarding property boundaries, tracking a local legal case, or even checking if a contractor has a history of small claims judgments against them. The information is out there and it belongs to you, the public.
Here is our roadmap for today's Explainer. First, why access court records? Second, the free online search guide. Third, troubleshooting your court search. Fourth, alternative ways to find records. And finally, privacy limits and final takeaways.
Section 1. Why access court records?
Okay, first things first, to find a record, we need to decode a major acronym you're going to see everywhere, OECI. This stands for the Oregon E-Court Case Information Network. It's basically the official, centralized case management database for all 36 of Oregon circuit courts, and yes, that includes Deschutes County. Now, in the past, researchers had to use this terribly outdated, text-only system called OGIN, which was notoriously difficult to navigate. But today, operations have completely migrated to the OECI infrastructure, which is way more user-friendly.
So the Oregon Judicial Department, or OJD, basically uses a three-tiered system for accessing these records. First, you have the free online portal, which gives you case summaries and hearing dates, essentially the metadata. If you need to actually read the full scanned pleadings and motions, you have to bump up to the second tier and use the physical courthouse kiosks located over in Bend. Those are free to view, but it's 25 cents a page if you want to print anything. Finally, there's OJCIN Online. That's a premium paid subscription designed for law firms and commercial researchers, and it comes with some pretty hefty setup and monthly fees. For our purposes today, we're focusing squarely on that first tier, the free portal.
Section 2. The free online search guide.
Accessing the free online system is a super straightforward three-step process. First, navigate to the OJD Records and Calendar search portal on your web browser. Second, and I can't stress this enough because so many beginners miss it, use the location drop-down menu and explicitly select Deschutes County Circuit Court. If you skip this, you are going to be completely swamped with irrelevant files from all over the entire state. Third, just enter the party name or the case number right into the search fields.
Now, what's really interesting about this, and absolutely crucial, is how you type in the query when using the party name option. Formatting it correctly is literally the difference between finding your record and hitting a frustrating dead end. You absolutely must format it strictly as last name, comma, first name. So if you just type John Smith instead of Smith, comma, John, the database will probably reject your query or just give you completely wrong results. It's a strict system, sure, but once you know the rule, it works like a charm.
Let's go over a few expert pro tips to save you some serious headaches. You can actually use an asterisk as a wildcard for partial names, but security parameters require you to provide at least the first letter of both the first and last name. So S asterisk, comma, J asterisk works perfectly, but just throwing an asterisk in there on its own won't do anything. Also, if you're looking up public traffic tickets, you can search by license plate, which is super handy. If you're typing in a standard case number, just know they never start with the letters SP. And finally, a massive pro tip: do your research during the week. The portal undergoes routine technical maintenance on weekends and is frequently taken offline.
Section 3. Troubleshooting your court search.
So, what happens when things go wrong? Well, our first major hurdle is system latency. Let's say you or someone you know recently got a traffic citation, and you want to look it up to pay the fine through the OJD Court's e-pay system. If it's missing, do not panic. It can actually take up to 15 days for a law enforcement citation to be processed and officially show up in the online system. The ticket didn't magically vanish. It's just processing lag.
Sometimes a missing record is just tied up in a specialized administrative process that happens entirely outside of that basic search window. For example, if someone is trying to appeal an administrative child support order made by the Oregon Child Support Program, they have to file a very specific petition de novo, and that comes with strict timelines. It has to be filed within 60 days after the order is entered. Administrative matters like that involve specific paperwork and physical filings that you just aren't going to find by typing a name into a basic public search bar.
Section 4. Alternative ways to find records.
You really have to delineate between the OJD circuit cases and separate jurisdictions. Like we mentioned, for full physical pleadings, you go to the main Deschutes County Courthouse in Bend. But if you're hunting for small claims, local county code violations, or localized traffic infractions, those actually belong to the Deschutes County Justice Court, which is over at Redmond City Hall. And just a quick heads up, the Justice Court recently started closing on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. Now, what about real property records, land deeds, or mortgage filings? Those are an entirely separate beast. They're managed by the county clerk at the Deschutes Services Center, and they use their own unique online interface called the Dial Portal.
Now, what if you need formal, verified copies of a record? Say, you need to show something to the Social Security Administration. You have to submit a formal records request either by mail to the file room department or through their statewide web form. There are strict statutory duplication fees here. But here is a fantastic workaround. An electronic PDF copy delivered via email is often completely free, as long as the total administrative fees stay under $5. But if you insist on physical paper copies, you are going to be charged 25 cents per page plus a flat $3 search fee per case.
Section 5. Privacy limits and final takeaways.
So the crucial point here is that while Oregon really promotes public access, federal and state statutes have to balance that transparency with individual safety. The free online database heavily redacts information, personal identifying info, things like social security numbers, phone numbers, and physical addresses. They are completely scrubbed to prevent identity theft. Beyond that, entire case classes are completely excluded from the free database. You will literally never find juvenile cases, adoptions, mental health adjudications, or cases involving the Violence Against Women Act online. This is a deliberate, statutory design to protect vulnerable individuals.
And the Oregon Judicial Department is very, very explicit about the limitations of this system. They state clearly that the free online search is not the official register and absolutely should not be used for official background checks or any purposes that require complete identity verification. The online portal is an amazing tool for finding hearing dates and checking general dispositions, for sure. But it is just an index, not an official certified background report. It is so vital that we respect these legal boundaries.
Which brings us to a fascinating tension right at the heart of our legal system. We've seen today how the Deschutes County court record system uses this clever tiered approach to offer public access while locking down sensitive files. But as technology makes it easier and easier to aggregate data, we have to ask, transparency versus privacy. How do we continue to balance open government access with the absolute critical need to protect sensitive personal data in the digital age? It's a huge question, and one that lawmakers and the courts grapple with every single day. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep asking those big questions, and I will see you next time.